Okay, we're going to take a look at the next two questions, so pages 13 and 14. Um, on page 13, they're asking you, they give you a bunch of data, represents the Fahrenheit temperature readings on 30 April mornings in Stormville, New York, are shown below. Here they are. Use the data to complete the frequency table, and then on the grid on the following page, we're going to make a frequency histogram. All right, so we're going to go through the data, and as we basically we'll tally it. So as we see a number 41, we're going to put a tally mark in the column that it goes to. 58, 61, 54, 49, 46, 52, 58, 67, 43, 47, 60, 52, 58, 48, 44, 59, 66, 62, 55, 44, 49, 62, 61, 59, 54, 57, 58, 63, and 60. Alright, so we go through all the data, we cross it out, we tally it. We have 4 tally slashes, we have 5, so now we actually write down the frequency: 4, 8, 7, and 2. Alright, so we have our information in a table. Now we need to make a frequency histogram on that information. So we're going to go to the next page, and we're going to construct a histogram. And remember, it's only really the positive quadrant, so we really just have to make a kind of like an L, and we're just going to graph that positive X, positive Y quadrant. So we take a look at our intervals. So we start at 40. So we'll go with a little slash, and I'm going to go. I'll make 3 boxes be each interval. So 1, 2, 3, and this will be from 40 to 44. 1, 2, 3. There's our next, and that's 45 to 49. 1, 2, 3. 50 to 54. 1, 2, 3. 55 to 59. 1, 2, 3. 60 to 64. 1, 2. I'm going to add 1 here. So put the arrow here. And this will be from 65 to 69. Alright. And then going up, this will start off at 0. We have frequencies. I want to spread this out a little bit, so I'm going to make every one of these a half. So then that'll be 2, 3, 4. If you want every one, that would be fine too. Just make sure you label it appropriately. 6, 7, 8. We have to go up to 8 because if you notice, 8 is the largest number in our frequency table. Alright, so we take a look at this, and from 40 to 44 we have a frequency of 4. So we make our bar. It goes up to 4, over, and then down. And you're going to leave a little bit of space, between the first bar and the y-axis. Remember, this is solid, and I would strongly suggest us putting the number right on top. The next interval, 45 to 49, we're at 5. So now the bars attach. So I'm going up to 5 and down. And this has a frequency of 5. Next is 4, from 50 to 54 is 4. So now, again, we'll just attach it to the previous bar. There's 4 here. Give it some solid piece to it. Then we're at 8. So we're going all the way up to 8. So that's way up here. Again, this is better if you do it with a ruler. So when you're taking this test, you better do it with a ruler, guys, please. Make it really nice. Okay. 60 to 64, we have 7. So bringing it down just a little bit. And then we're at 65 to 69 is 2. So 2 is right here, coming across. Remember, I went past this piece, which is fine. Just make sure it's labeled appropriately, and this would be 2. All right, but now what did I forget to do? I gotta make sure I label everything. These are going to be temperatures in April. And this is, you can just label your frequency. Okay? And then you have your full credit answer. Okay, we're going to we can do this one. So we'll go to page 14. On page 14, they're asking us, it says the table below shows the number of prom tickets sold over a 10-day period. Plot these data points on the grid below. Use consistent, appropriate scale. Draw a reasonable line of best fit, and write its equation. Okay, so our days, well, appropriate scale for our days, you know, you can make every one of these lines represent 1 if you want to. We need to go up to 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's fine. And then we're starting at 30. I guess you could go by 5s if you wanted to. Take a look at the numbers. You know, they're all divisible by 5. It would make sense. So if I wanted to, I can do that. So there's 5, now I'm at 10. There's 15, and now I'm at 20. There's 30, 35, 40, 50, 60, and 70. Right, and now all we have to do is plot these points. That's it. It's all labeled, number of prom tickets, days, we're good. So at the first day we have 30 tickets, so we go to 1 and then 30, and we just have a dot. And then 2 and then 35, another dot. 5 and then 55, dot. 7 and 60, and 10, and what, 70, 10 and 70. So there we have it. Again, this is a scatter plot, so the lines won't line up perfectly, but if you, what you want to do is you want to draw what's called the line of best fit, which is going to basically be the averages of what you see here. So it's going to be some line that kind of goes through the points, maybe like this. All right, so kind of through the middle. And they want to know, you know, about, it says, you know, draw a reasonable line of best fit and write its equation. So, you mean, you can see here that these 2 points, if we put it on the graph, what we can do is it's intersecting at the place where on the y-axis where it's 25. So your y-intercept is going to be 25. And the slope is going to be 1 day and up 5. So x change is 1 and the y change is 5. So the slope is going to be y changes on top, x changes on the bottom. And if I wrote this in terms of an equation, remember your equation is y equals mx plus b. So this will be y equals m is 5, x plus 25. Okay, and again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's got to represent the line you drew, and that would be good enough. All right, and we will actually go on to 15 and see if we can get this one done pretty quickly. It's, they give you a bunch of data. They give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pieces of data, and they want us to construct a box whisker plot. Okay, so let's take this and remember what we have to do is we need, for a box whisker, we need a low, we need a Q1, we need a median, we need a Q3, and we need a high score. And we did this by hand, and we also did it by using the calculator. So let's go over what the calculator will help us do with this. What we've done with the calculator is, if you remember, we hit Stat and then Edit. And then what we're going to do is, if you have something in your list, you want to go to the top, hit Clear, and then go down. It'll clear that list out. Hit Clear, go down. And we're just going to fill in the data we have here. 72, you can put it in the order it appears. The calculator will do everything else for you. 66, 71, 82, 85, 95, 85, 86, 89, 91, and 92. So we have our data, and then if we want to figure out what all these numbers are, we hit Stat, and we go to Calc, and it's one variable statistics. Just hit Enter, and our data is in L1, which is second, and then if you look at the number key, you see where it says L1 right there. So it's second and then 1. It defaults to that, so if you have the data there, it's no problem, just hit Enter. And if we cursor down, we can see what the 5-number summary is. The minimum is going to be 66. The Q1 is going to be 72.5. The median is going to be 85. The Q3 is 90, and the max is 95. And we can write that down just like that. The other way that we've done this is by hand. We would take a look at the smallest score, which is 66, and then we'd go and we'd look for the next smallest score. So that would bring me up to the 70s. So then I have a 71, a 72, and a 73. No more 70s, so I have 80s, and it looks like 82 would be the next highest score. And then I have an 85, an 85, an 86. So it looks like two 85s, an 86, and then we have an 89, then we have a 91, 92, and a 95. And that would take care of all of my data. And the way you do your box, whisker, again, low, Q1, median, Q3, and high. Low and high is easy. Low is going to be 66. High is going to be 95. You have 12 scores. So if you remember your median in 12, you take 12 divided by 2. It's the average. Since it's an even number, it's the average of your middle two scores. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here's your middle two scores right here. The median, the average of 85 and 85 is going to be 85. Okay? So there's my scores split in half. And if you remember, the Q1 is basically the median of the first half of scores. Well, you have 6 scores, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the median of those 6 scores are going to be the average of these two. The average of a 72 and a 73. So it's the third and fourth score is 72.5. And then you have another 6 scores from here to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the median between the third and fourth score, that's these two scores. The average between an 89 and a 90 and a 91 is a 90. So that's how you can get the scores by hand, or you can get the scores by calculator, either way. So how do you make a box whisker? We go to 66, which is our low, and that's going to be a small line. And then we go to 72.5, that'll be right between these two, and it's a much bigger line, and that small line is centered on that. I'm beginning my box. 85 is right here. I'm going to make the same size line as the Q1 line, and then my Q3 is at 90. I'm going to make, again, the same size line as my median. That's my box. And then my high score is at 95. So center a smaller line right there, and then that's where you draw your whiskers to. And then again, I would label these numbers. This is 66, this is 72.5, this is 85, this one's 90, and this one's 95. And these represent what? Test scores. So I'd label this line test scores. And you're done. Okay, that concludes this part.